Bob Robertson, Washington State broadcaster. Bob, good to see you.
Good to see you, Art. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been great, and the honor is richly deserved here. I know that you're not big on honors and all those sorts of things, but to talk about somebody who knows this broadcast, the area, and this market from A to Z and has done well for so long, it's richly deserved.
Well, I heard you say I might have been at the first one. No, I wasn't, but I was at a lot of them. I knew Royal, of course, very well, and he was a great guy and really started something good and wonderful, and we've all had fun with it during the years that have gone by.
I think a lot of folks who don't know about the history of this banquet might get a kick out of some of the stories with Royal at the time. It was a much smaller event, sort of kind of a good old boys club downtown celebrating at the Washington Athletic Club and then various hotels. But perhaps you have a few thoughts about Royal Brome that you might be able to share about what kind of a guy he was and what kind of an entrepreneur and businessman he was.
Well, he was a most interesting character. I mean, colorful would be the word to describe Royal, because everything he did was approached to kind of a unique fashion. It was Royal Brome fashion. And I do remember that when Marv Harshman came over from coaching Washington State's basketball team to coach the Washington Huskies, we had a meeting at one of the hotels, I think it was out in the University District. And Royal approached me at some point during the party that was going on. He said, "Robbie," he said, "you must have known Harsh but when he was at Washington State." And I said, well, I even knew him when he was at Pacific Lutheran. I did his games there. And he said, "When he was a coach or a player?" And I figured, come on now, Royal, you can't do that to me.
That does sound like Royal, always a fellow for a one-upmanship. I remember the story at the PI legendary episode was when Royal, at one of the later banquets, was reading all these testimonial telegrams from Jack Dempsey and Babe Ruth and all these people. And my colleague at the paper, Steve Rudman, everybody was saying, "Wow, I didn't know Royal knew all those people. He sent all those telegrams." Well, Steve went back in the office and discovered that Royal had typed up all those self-congratulatory telegrams to himself. That is great self-promotion.
That is, and that's how you get ahead in this world. If you don't know how to promote yourself, you just don't make it.
Right. We at Sports Press Northwest think of ourselves as entrepreneurs, but by gosh, Royal had it down in a spectacular fashion. Why don't you catch up our viewers a little bit on what you're up to lately, including broadcast of the PLU games?
All right, well, I've just finished, of course, my 45th year of broadcasting Washington State football, 508 games, counting the last Apple Cup. On top of that, I'm doing Pacific Lutheran University's basketball on the radio now. And in the summertime, I work with the Spokane Indians Baseball Club in the Northwest League. And last year, I returned to doing some games with the Tacoma Rainiers in the Pacific Coast League. So that kind of keeps me busy the year round.
Bob, what does the word retirement mean to you?
It means that you're all through working and there's no way to get back. You can't claw your way back into it.
Well, you have had such a remarkable career, and to keep going with so many sports so often, and of course being able to tolerate Jim Walden, and that in and of itself is a major feat.
Well, I don't have to say as much now. Jim fills a lot of the time for me and takes care of the officiating for me, and so it makes my work a lot easier in that sense.
It's true. It's nice to have a referee in the box with you, isn't it?
It is. I noticed that a lot of the major networks have followed suit now. They're having referees up there, so it's a good idea.
Yeah, he was a trailblazer in the idea of being able to officiate from the box. So
absolutely, it works.
All right, that's Bob Robertson, a legendary broadcaster who tonight is a recipient of the Media Legend Award here at Benaroya Hall, the 77th Annual Sports Star of the Year. Bob, good to see you. All right, thank you.